Hello everybody, welcome back to Body Tuning Live. Today we're going to spend a little bit of time on the lymphatic system, which we touched on in our Facebook stream earlier today. But it'll also, we're going to jump right into the full body exercises too. So if you were part of our Facebook stream, you should be familiar already with what's going on. Let's start like usual, just bouncing, shaking up the body here. Okay. And just get the full body circulation going to start. And so as we continue to shimmy and wake up the body, I'm just going to deliver some basic information about the lymphatic system and why we should pay more attention to it. Okay? Lymphatic system is the circulation for our immune system. It helps us carry pathogens to white blood cells and carry white blood cells to pathogens. It's where we trap incoming predatory invaders and then hopefully deal with them accordingly. So while there may be things online about boosting the immune system or things like that, that's not really what we're talking about today. Basically, the immune system functions just fine, but we can help it do its perfect job just a little bit faster. And that's about all we can hope for, okay? The idea that you're going to necessarily strengthen the immune system is a little bit of a misnomer. What we can do is help it digest a lot faster and process food faster. Just like when the organs in the stomach are nice and clean, we tend to digest our food more easily. When the lymphatic vessels are more clean, we tend to digest pathogens more easily, okay? So that's what we're gonna work on today. The other important concept to understand about the lymph is that it works off of mechanical pumping. So we can't rely on just the heart to pump the lymph. We need to use gentle movements and very gentle pressure to move the lymph in the body. Okay, as we start to develop some of the lymphatic massage techniques today, we want to avoid overpressing the body. So as I start to swipe on the arms, drawing the lymph up the body, right, towards the armpit, I'm really trying not to squeeze the arm too hard. I want a brushing stroke. Okay, and you want to think about when you've seen horses getting brushed down, how nice it looks, the sheen on their coat as the brush just goes through their short hair. And that's basically the sensation we want to get underneath the arms here. Just a light brushing as we drive through the body. Okay, so that's going to be our primary technique for moving the lymph is like light strokes, okay? The other technique we're going to use is vibration by tapping, okay? And we're going to use this to stimulate all the various lymphatic vessels in the body as we go through today's class. Okay, so let's continue brushing the arms so we get a light bounce in the knees, shimmying. Okay, we're going to really try to combine not only the light exercise cardio workout we're used to, but also now we're going to combine that with the lymphatic massage. Really trying to hit all systems in the body at once here. Again, nice and gentle, just brushing up the arms. Okay, let's do some of our tapping to go up and down the arm. Resting that arm, pumping through here. Pay close attention to this area of the neck. This is where a large junction of lymph nodes come through. In fact, you may notice my swelling is looking pretty good. There's not too much puffiness here. But some people have a big, round, puffy center right here. And that's what congestion in the lymphatic system looks like. So if we want to work on this area, We're going to use this easy pumping towards the heart and away, very gently massaging the area. We want to try to keep a 1-to-1 ratio using very, very light kind of pressure. You're just trying to get some movement through the tube each time, pumping in and out. We can try the same on this side. Right, lymphatic massage is starting to become more and more popular. Some people need it because they have lymph disorders, but more and more regular people are starting to realize the lymphatic massage makes them feel quite good, a little bit better than necessarily a deep tissue aggressive massage. Because when our immune system's feeling good and the lymph circulates well, we become less swollen, we feel lighter and more buoyant. So opening up all the lymph vessels is an easy way to improve the overall health of the body. Okay, so let's continue to warm up the body as we address the arms. Get a little bit more swings going on here. Easy light brushing now up the abdomen. Brushing up the legs. Good. Good. One of the other ways we can pump the lymph is by using contractions in the body. Even these basic bouncing movements will improve the lymph flow. But if we want to really try to target an area, we can use an isometric contraction or a tensing of the area to produce a pumping effect. So let's try to develop a full body pump in the next few minutes. Okay? We're just going to develop it slowly with a mindful exercise. Okay? Bring yourself back to neutral. And let's start with the arms because they're the easiest to understand. So first we're just going to pump all the arms, making a big fist with the elbows, hands, and shoulders, and then release that. And we're going to try to keep that 1-to-1 ratio, right? Squeezing on, squeezing off, and relaxing. Squeezing on, squeezing off, relaxing. Squeezing on, squeezing off, relaxing. Okay, let's try the same thing in the legs now. Remember, you don't have to be so specific here. You just need to try to tense the muscles in your legs. You can make the feet hard, like you're making a fist with the feet, and you can squeeze the knees, which will bring in the inner thigh muscles, and squeezing the hips. Try to make both legs like strong columns, gripping the ground and squeezing, and releasing. Let's go again a few times through the legs. Squeezing the legs, gripping all the muscles you can, isometric contraction, and releasing. Okay, squeezing again, pumping the legs, and releasing. And squeezing again, pumping, and releasing. Okay, let's combine the arms and the legs together now. This is going to start to become taxing on the heart as we go. Okay, here we go, squeezing the hands and the legs, and releasing. Squeezing the hands and the legs, releasing. I like to give a little shake in between to release the muscles and also stimulate the flow of the lymph. Okay, here we go, pumping again and releasing. Pumping again and releasing. Okay, now let's address the central column of the lymph. what I would consider to be the most important aspect of the lymphatic system. So the vessels from the legs come up and join here into one massive lymphatic area coming up the center of the body, which then tips over and rejoins the venous return into the heart. Okay. So what we want to do is create the drawing up of the abdomen as we exhale, to try to drive the lymph up the body. We're going to combine that with our full arm pumping. So we're going to breathe into the belly and breathe out, drawing the belly up. Okay, let's combine that with our movements. So we breathe in, contracting everything at once, and relaxing everything at once. Full body contraction, full body relaxing. That way we can turn our entire body into a giant pump. It's very important to understand you need to release the muscles and give time for the flow to refill. Just like if you squeeze out a bottle, you need to let go for it to refill with air before you can squeeze out some more. Okay, so let's continue this pumping. We'll try to get 10 or 15 in a row. Okay, here we go. Breathing in, relaxing. Breathing in, relaxing. Breathing in. Good, let's take a quick rest. I like to use the isometric contractions because they're very self-regulating. I can squeeze harder than you, or you can squeeze harder than me, depending on how you feel today. It also helps, isometric contractions also help build stability throughout each joint in the body. As you create those co-contractions around the joints, they become more stable and more fully engaged. If you notice one of your joints was particularly painful when you tried to contract the shoulders, this means there's some kind of imbalance that will improve over time. Perhaps just use a weaker contraction at first and build up from there. Okay, let's try to develop some movement now. Hopping up and down a little bit, pumping the legs and the calves. Good. Take the light shimmy through the chest, and we're going to loosen up the back easy here. Right, let's start to kick out the legs and develop a little bit more looseness for the lower body today. I try to keep my ankle loose so that it feels floppy like my wrist. It's easy for everyone to flop their wrist over. Can you do the same with your ankle? Easy kicking forward in the marching pattern. Good, beating across the upper chest, fairly lightly here, okay? Remember, we want to try to address the lymph today, so we're just going to tap lightly and try to jostle everything through the vessels. Great, we're going to combine my new favorite exercise, which we discovered spontaneously a few weeks ago. We're going to use this as a lymph maneuver, right? As we brush the upper arms coming through underneath, we get that same easy kind of horse brushing technique on the underside of the arms, sweeping into the chest and down towards the heart. Let's shake that out real quick. And now we'll pay a little bit of attention to the inner thighs, okay? So we want to draw the lymph up the body. I'm just going to do this light clapping up the body. We're going to combine this with some breathing and stretching at the same time, okay? So you can use any chair for this. Just find the height that feels good, okay? If you feel stretchy already, great. Just keep trying to tap down. If you want to lean a little bit more in and out, good. Good. Notice how it was easier to stretch more deeply when you have that stimulation on the leg. You're less concerned about feeling the stretch, and more concerned about keeping the body moving and feeling the sensations of the impact. Good. Now let's see if we can reach all the way down to the calf, stroking upwards. Remember to think about the lymph, not the stretch. also more easily pump the body using the mechanical pumping of the muscle by flexing and extending the ankle in this position. Let's quickly revisit the other side since we left out the ankle. Right? If you can reach, good. If not, stick with the mechanical pumping. Okay. Yeah, pumping the ankle up and down. And let's not waste time. We can always work up here too. Great, I'd like to spend some more time addressing the central pump in the body now, okay? You can remain standing for this. I'm just gonna move closer so I can see the screen better, okay? What I wanna talk about is the deep exhale, okay? And getting a firmness in the belly and an upward movement of the belly as we exhale, okay? And we're gonna try to make that 1-to-1 ratio like we did with the lymph, moving here very slowly in and out, in and out. Okay, we're gonna try to do the same thing with the diaphragm. Okay, the diaphragm is like a sheath that cuts the body in half, but there are holes in it that allow the blood vessels and lymph to pass through from the lower half of the body to the upper half. Okay, so when we breathe down, that hole comes down, and as we breathe in, it grabs and moves up, right? So as we exhale, it brings the venous return and the lymph upwards, and as we breathe in, it drops the circulation down through the body, okay? So what we want to do is try to accentuate that pumping movement. So as we breathe down, we want to get a nice low breath. And as we breathe out, we want to grab everything and squeeze really firmly on the exhale. Trying, just like we did with the isometric contraction, we really want to squeeze the abs and drive the air out, okay? By driving the air out, we'll get that pumping movement for the lymph up the body, okay? So let's work with this easy visualization as we drive the air up through the body. Lifting aggressively through the stomach. In and up, in and up. Good, let's give the arms a rest. So rotating and coordinating the shoulders. Continuing to just drive that pump through the body, understanding that that breath work, that intense effort to make that big exhale is the exercise and is giving you the health benefits that you want right now. And breathing in, invest the effort. Get the air out of the body, drive it out. These extremely deep inhales, when you feel the rib cage come in and you really feel like you're crushing yourself, this is also really important to get to the bottom lobes of the lung, which has been the biggest problem with the virus COVID-19 going around. That as people get sick, the fluid collects at the base of the lungs and they start to develop pneumonia. And then we get the cascade of downward spiral from there. Okay, so just like if you have cystic fibrosis, that's a horrible condition that you're born with, where your lungs are constantly filling with mucus. And they require several hours of chest physical therapy every day. And that looks a lot like what we've been doing. Basically, the therapist comes and bangs on their lungs in different positions so that all that gunk can drain towards the bronchial tubes. And then those folks need to spend a long time and then hacking up all this fluid. Okay, so we can try to stay a little bit healthier for ourselves, without this condition, by emptying the lower lobes of the lungs. Okay, by getting the pumping in the lower lobes of the lungs, we're really doing the best we can for our lungs. Okay, so really try to drive the air out as far as you can. Good. You also notice that it takes in a really large effort to get that deep, deep exhale. And that's going to also improve the stability of our core so that our spine stays more stable throughout the day. That's also what a lot of the hype is about general physical therapy, about doing core strength, doing planks, doing Pilates, and strengthening. I need strong abs to protect my back. Well, this is really the only ab exercise that you need, because this is the perfect way to coordinate all the abs in one and just get an aggressive effort. I don't train my abs any other way than deep exhales, because I find that really is the best and works and is also the most accessible. You can do it anywhere on the subway. It doesn't have to be loud. You're just breathing. Wow. Okay, everybody, if you breathe aggressively like me, you probably had enough for today. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with just the final words of please subscribe to our channel so I can finally broadcast mobily. Okay, and share with friends. We'll be back tomorrow with some more body tuning program. I'm really trying to convince Dr. Katz to get on one of these sessions, but maybe we need to plan a bit ahead. Okay, so stay tuned, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye now.